Hello everyone. Today we're looking at one of these. This is an Audiovox phone. I don't actually know the model of it. I think it's a CB40 or something like that. I'm not too sure. This is one that gathered dust in a crate with a whole bunch of other phones. That's been in storage for many years. It's gathered a bit of dust because it was at the top of the crate. But I've not powered it on in a while. It did used to work. I do remember powering it on, but this is going back probably 5 or 6 years ago when I first bought it. It is a beast. It is quite heavy. Certainly to gauge some sort of size, that is probably a good 10, 11 inches maybe. Certainly with the antenna, it's up in the sort of 15, 16 inches, maybe even more. Weight-wise, we're talking maybe, don't know, 3-4 kilos, I'd say at least. But yeah, I do actually have the charger cable, which is quite rare to get nowadays. It's got a nice little hands-free socket there, and this does have Velcro. It's always had Velcro. I bought it off a guy, and I don't know if it was part of a display or not. If it was, then I don't think the Velcro would be enough to actually hold it. There's a strip there and a strip here. I do actually think that you'd probably need a lot more Velcro to stick it to a wall display or some sort, or something, because this is quite heavy, certainly. You can turn the antenna around. It's got a detachable antenna, of course, and that's about it, really. From a battery point of view, the front is the battery. Let me quickly show you that. You do need to take it apart to show you the battery. It's got a little button here which you press, and this pops open like so. And then I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the handset off because the cable's getting kinked. So basically this comes undone, and you get some levers here. The top is the battery, like so, and that ejects the battery. This is a what is that? That's a 6-volt battery. Oh no, it's a 6-volt times 2 battery, so 12 volts basically. You got a little socket there to charge it directly if you're so inclined. This is a NiCad, so obviously not much good nowadays because NiCads don't really hold their charge. So this is as good as a doorstop if you just had the battery. Weighs quite a bit. I'm guessing it's got probably some D cells in there by the looks of it. Size wise, you could probably fit a load of D cells around here. And then you got the phone part of it as well. Actually, the phone comes out with these two bottom levers. There we go. And that slots right out. And this is the phone. I'm guessing this was also the unit you got if you got the car version of this, if they ever did one. I'm not too sure, actually. If anybody does know, just leave me a comment, because I don't know much about Audiovox phones as a whole. I know there is 1 or 2 collectors in the States, in the Americas, that do know a lot about the Audiovox phones. Certainly the smaller ones, the handheld ones. You know, I don't know much about them. I got a couple of Audiovoxes in my collection. This is one of them. But I'm not too clued up on the history of Audiovox and all the different models they had over the years. I'm more of a Motorola or Nokia, or you know, those makes that were primarily available in Europe, because I was mainly in Europe at the time. These ones, I believe this is amps, because this is out of the Americas. So I bought this off a guy in Northern America, and he said he bought it from new and used it in America. So I figure this is probably amps. I don't think it would be anything else. Certainly I don't think this is CDMA. And the only other option would be IDEN, but this doesn't have push to talk, so I don't think it's IDEN. And I think IDEN came out much later than amps. But anyway, So yeah, I mean, that's the phone. You got a funky connector there. You got your RF connected there. This says it's a BC40. It's actually got Toshiba Corporation on it. So maybe Toshiba made the phone and then Audiovox just repackaged it. I'm not too sure, actually. I never actually noticed that, which is interesting. But yeah, it's Audiovox Corporation, BC40, serial number, and some other funky numbers. So yeah, let's fire this baby up. Can't remember which way around this goes, actually. Is it this way? We'll soon find out. If it goes pop or bang, we'll know about it. I'd say that goes in like so. And this goes in like so. Flap goes. Oh, it's a TCT100. There we go. So yeah, I mean the phone was obviously one element of it. Looks like they sold this as a TCT100 by the looks of it. But anyway, got a little button there to release the handset. That slots in like so. So without further ado, let's power this up. I do actually have the power cord for the car. This is what it looks like. It's just a regular old DC 12 volt car thingy. This is old school though, because this is this, you can tell this has been around because it's got a little bit of rust there as well, and it's just an old style connector. Some of the older phones have got real old style connectors. I don't know if you checked out last week's video about the Oki briefcase phone. The connector on that was real old school. So I mean, some of the connectors I got, actually the tip is actually a lot thicker, particularly when it comes to CNET phones out of Germany. For some reason, the Germans had a different kind of size pin. It's a lot bigger, and those connectors don't actually fit into regular size car adapter things. But anyway, as I said last week, the little car adapter that I had in all my my previous videos before moving crib, I'm not too sure where it went. I guess it must have just got lost in transit somewhere. But anyway, so I got myself one of these. This is a 6 amp bad boy 12 volt. It just emulates the car socket. So let's go and fire this baby up. With a bit of luck, this will hopefully spring to life. Yeah, that goes in there like so. Hasn't gone pop, so that's good. But there's not much life. Okay, I would expect, there we go. I would expect the charge to come on. So that's a good sign. Power is now on. And there we go. This is actually quite loud. Got a little speaker there. So, and this is the handset. Not too sure what that mark is, a bit of paint. So, not too great on the contrast of the display though. I don't know if you can see that. It's got no service at the top, power at the bottom. Store, it's got a couple of buttons. Store, function, clear, send the recall end. Usual sort of stuff really, I guess. I guess this really didn't have much in terms of a menu. I think you just had horn. So now that switched the horn on. Now that switched the horn off. You don't even get volume buttons. You just get a slidey thing here. Which, yeah, it does actually stop eventually. And you get a speaker volume here. So actually, let's try something. Let's wind that right down. Yeah, so that's real low. If I turn that right up, it's actually gone quite quiet now. Oh well. So yeah, I mean, you didn't get much back in those days. You just got the lock function and the horn. The horn was a function that it basically, if you had this set up in the car, you could, and somebody called you on this, you could get the car's horn to honk when there was an incoming call. I don't actually know how you would wire this up. And obviously, you have to enable it in the menu. Some of the older phones, some of the older cell phones have that function. The newer ones don't. I guess they did away with it because not many people used it. I'm not too sure how you would actually get that set up. Let's have a quick look. Maybe there is there's a hands-free connector there. There isn't really much else in terms of connections, is there? So, yeah, I'm not too sure how you would get that. Maybe it is just an audio connection through there, I guess. No, that's the power. Hands-free would probably be there. Like I said, I'm not an expert on Audiovox phones, but certainly the honk or the horn function on the menu is something you actually see only on really old school phones. You don't really see that on many phones. But yeah, so that's now really low actually. I've turned that right down. So there isn't really anything I can show you in the menu because there is no menu. It's as simple as that. You got function button with 2 functions and send and recall and store. I'm not sure how you would store numbers. I guess we could just try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or actually no, let's try something different. Let's try 0800 55 or 5. Let's do 555. Everybody in the movies always does 555 something, so 555 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So I guess just store. Or function store. No, maybe not then. Store send? No, maybe not. You see, I'm not even sure how you would store a number on here. It's probably got a phone book, but a real basic one, I would guess. So let's see if we can place a call. We probably won't, obviously, because this is amps, but just to see what it does, really. So maybe we can do recall. Send. No, I don't even know how to get the last dial number up. Function recall. Nope. Recall function. Recall send. Nope. Recall store. Yeah, without a manual, you're not going to get much joy out of this, quite frankly. But it does work. It does power on. These phones were built to last. If you look at the build quality on some of these real old school phones, they mean business. I mean, I think builders had these, workmen out in the field had these when they first launched. So you got a handle obviously there. So, but not really economical in terms of size. I mean, if you compare that to a normal smartphone. Here's one of a few. That's a Samsung, and this has the rubber case on it as well. Or if you want to even go smaller, we went bigger 2 weeks ago. This is another Samsung. This is just a little flip. This does work. But yeah, I mean, this does definitely work. As you can see, it's fired up. And this is GSM, not 3G, not 4G, just GSM. You compare the size of that, you can carry that in your shirt pocket. You can carry one of these in your briefcase. So food for thought anyway, for people that had to carry these around, back in the day with a sore shoulder. So that's all I can say about this one, really. The phone's pretty basic. That there isn't anything in the menu that I can show you because it's got no menu. So it's made in Japan, which some of these are. But that's about it for this one, I'm afraid. If you got any questions, drop me a comment. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. Like I say, I'm not an expert, but I do have a few cell phones. So pop me a comment. Give me a thumbs up if you like the phone or the video. Certainly, I know some people like the bigger the phone, the better. Not all my phones are this sort of size. I do have a few like this, but not all of them, obviously. So, but yeah, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I got one more thing to say, though. Heads up to everybody who spotted me at IBC last week, or this week, I should say. Well, I was there last week and this week. you might have seen a guy walk around with a big ass brick phone. Um, Heads up to everybody, and thanks to everybody who stepped up and said hello. I don't show my face on the video, but it was quite clear that the brick phone guy off YouTube was out. Some of y'all might know that I got burgled a couple of months back, so I was out at IBC actually buying new video equipment, new video editing equipment. I don't just do YouTube video; I do video editing for other stuff. And the burglars nicked her. They stole a lot of that stuff. So I was out there replacing it, talking to suppliers, shaking a few hands, and having a good time, really. So thanks to everybody who came and said hello and whatnot, and worked out that the guy carrying around the big phone was the guy off YouTube. So yeah, I'm really appreciating that. I don't make a song and dance, and a big fuss about who I am, but it's nice to actually get recognized, even though nobody actually should know what I look like. So I really appreciate it. And thanks everybody for your support so far, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.